My name is Lilia Sarmiento. I did my university work at Cal State Los Angeles. I received a BA in Spanish. Then I went back and continued my schooling with a master's in early childhood education and educational administration. In addition to that, I am a graduate from the University of Southern California, where I went and pursued a PhD in the area of language literacy and learning. Part of the work that I've done academically right now has been a couple of articles. One of them that is significant is the one that's called Abriendo Puertas, Opening Doors. Presently, I work at Cal State University, Dominguez Hills, with a goal in mind in order to prepare the future Spanish bilingual teachers. Part of my work there is for students to feel proud of who they are and to be able to speak their heritage language. We do that a lot through writing, and one of the additional tasks that I do is working with the schools. I work in Montebello, and especially in the task of Alza tu Voz. That particular summer institute is focused for teachers to have an opportunity to participate in an academic setting where they can actually speak Spanish to each other. Those doors are closed to us during the school year, but in the summer the teachers engage in critical thinking and transformative education for them to be able to improve their classroom practice. In addition to that, I am a board member for a local community, which is ALA, the Alhambra Latino Association, in which we're involved in raising scholarships for immigrants who will have the possibility of going into the university. Last year, I was involved in international education at the university, and that encompassed working with 20 teachers that came from Central America and the Dominican Republic. The teachers came from El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, and the Dominican Republic, with the intent of being here at Dominguez Hills for 6 months, working in the area of teacher empowerment, so they can take their skills and teaching practices back into their country and make a difference for their community. That has been significantly important. This coming year, we'll be working with teachers from El Salvador, who will be middle school teachers, with the intent of improving their classroom practice for motivation and helping students get off the streets. As a working mother, we are faced with the challenges of balancing home and work. And one of my biggest challenges was the birth of my firstborn, Guillermo. He was born with a syndrome called Pierre-Robin syndrome, in which he went full term, but he had all the symptoms of a premature baby. With that, complications as he continued to grow up. He did not develop physically, and he was not able to speak. At 3 years old, he only had 5 words to his vocabulary, and when he began school, I really wanted him to be part of a regular classroom. But that brings challenges. And so, schooling and raising Guillermo, oftentimes you thought, what did I do? What did I do wrong that caused Guillermo to have a learning disability? And I remember being in church one day and praying, why God did this happen, to me, to our family? And I remember the voice of a very wise person that once told me, God would never bestow on you anything that you could not handle. And that did it. Those words were something that has led me to continue to be strong on behalf of Guillermo. And as we saw him develop, that's one of the reasons why I went back to school, to continue my master's in early childhood education, because I wanted to know more about children and their development. I also had this profound need in order to let other parents and my students to know what those challenges are, and I really wanted them to see that they could be the ones that would take under their wing the child that's going to be different in their classroom. Guillermo went through a lot. There was not integration of children with special needs. They were segregated. I really believed in mainstream. I wanted him to be around other children. He needed to hear the language and the songs and their laughter and their thinking for him to be able to develop into a productive citizen. And through a lot of work, a lot of tears, a lot of sacrifice, Guillermo was able to do that. So my message to my students at each of my classes is that they can be the teacher that's going to make a difference for one child's life. Just like when we met one teacher in 6th grade, it was kind of late, but it doesn't have to be that late. It can be early on, starting in preschool and in kindergarten, and I know my students are carrying that message forward so that they can make a difference for a child's life as